Welcome back. The FBI and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA for short, is once again warning voters that foreign actors are seeking to influence the U.S. election. In their latest announcement, the agencies outlined how countries like Russia, China, and Iran are spreading disinformation and amplifying false claims, including with new AI-enabled tools. We should note the FBI and CISA also say they have no information suggesting malicious cyber activity has compromised U.S. election infrastructure ahead of Election Day. Joining me now is Jen Easterly, Director of CISA, which helps oversee election infrastructure and protect it against cyber threats. Jen, thanks for joining us. I think first, what do people need to know about these foreign malign influence campaigns, and how can they protect themselves from falling victim, especially in an online world that moves so fast and people's attentions are so divided?
Yeah, well, great to be with you, Allie. So the document that you referenced is really focused on election security. So CISA serves as the federal government lead for election infrastructure security. And what we were warning about in that public service announcement with our FBI colleagues was exactly that. Foreign adversaries from Russia, Iran, China, who remain intent on two key goals. First, to undermine American confidence and trust in our election systems and our democratic processes, and two, to stoke partisan discord. And as we've been warning for the last several months, along with the intelligence community, foreign adversaries are more active now than they ever have been, which is why it's so important that Americans are aware of these activities and that they take these warnings seriously. So we've been putting this information out. I do think your point about influence operations versus interference, we have seen our foreign adversaries very active in terms of malign influence and disinformation. We have not seen them actively trying to get into our election infrastructure.
That is a really important distinction, I think, especially the way that we saw conspiracy theories proliferate after the 2020 election. But I want to go back to your report, which talks about foreign actors now using AI-enabled tools. You talk about how they're more active than they've ever been, but have these influence campaigns also become more sophisticated compared to what we saw in 2016 and 2020?
Yeah, we have. I mean, what we saw in 2016 was Russian attempts to interfere and influence in the elections. That's why election infrastructure was designated as critical infrastructure, and that's why CISA was made the federal government lead. In 2020, we saw activities from Iran. Now we're seeing Russia, Iran, and China. And yes, they are using AI-enabled capabilities to help them create synthetic media, fake social media, personas, to help them get disinformation out, to influence the American people. So it is very active. But I do think it's really important for Americans to understand that because of all the work that's been done over the past 8 years with the election community, bringing together the federal government, the state and local election officials who run elections, and the election vendor community, the reality is that election infrastructure has never been more secure, and the election stakeholder community never better prepared to run free, fair, safe, secure elections. Now, our foreign adversaries will try to convince us that that is not true, but that's why we're putting out these warnings and information so Americans can be armed, understanding what our adversaries are attempting to do.
Yeah, you know, though, it's not just foreign disinformation that we've seen. We have seen former President Donald Trump spread false claims about election security. Even just take a listen to some recent examples, and we'll talk about them on the other side.
The mail-in voting isn't working. It's corrupt. But until then, Republicans must win. We did great in 2016. A lot of people don't know. We did much better in 2020. We won. We won. We did win. It was a rigged election. It was a rigged election. They're going to cheat. They cheat. That's all they want to do is cheat. And when you see this, it's the only way they're going to win.
So what's your response then, and how do you discredit false claims coming from the Republican presidential candidate, a former president himself?
Yeah, so just to be clear, there is no evidence that malicious actors changed, altered, deleted votes, or had any material impact on the outcome of the 2020 election. That has been validated time and again including in multiple court cases with judges from both appointed by both parties and through multiple intelligence assessments. And in any race that was close in 2020, there were paper records which could be counted and recounted to ensure accuracy. In this role, I spent an enormous amount of my time with state and local election officials of both parties across the country. I know how tirelessly they work to ensure that every one of their citizens' votes are counted as cast. It's why I say I have such great confidence in the security of election infrastructure. Yeah. But let's look at why, Allie. Well, first of all, at the end of the day, the systems that Americans use to vote, not connected to the internet.
Yep.
Over 97% paper ballots, multiple layers of safeguards, cybersecurity, physical security in place to protect election infrastructure from compromise, to include pre-election testing of systems to ensure accuracy and post-election audits. And every state runs things a little differently. As the saying goes, if you've seen one state's election, you've seen one state's election. Different equipment, different processes, and that decentralized, diverse nature actually creates incredible resilience, because it means that a threat actor could not impact election infrastructure at scale. And that's why I say election infrastructure is so secure. But Allie, I should make
I'm so sorry to cut you off, Jen, because you're making such fantastic points, and all of it meant to underscore the confidence that we have, thankfully, in our election systems with just over 2 weeks to go. I'm sure that you and I will have many more of these conversations, and I'm thankful that we can. CISA Director Jen Easterly, thank you for your time.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.